Howdy, folks. Woody Wallace from needcoffee.com here. I'll need that in a moment. We're back again for another Wayhomer. I told you would be seeing me soon because we are in one of the last weekends when we can do this before Dragon Con, and there's lots to see. Here's how this works for the uninitiated. I have just left the cinema over there somewhere where I've seen a film. And I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. And this evening we're here to talk about Attack the Block. At last. Alright, so, Attack the Block. What can we say? Well, first of all, it took it damn long enough to get to Atlanta. We're supposed to be like one of the top markets for crying out loud. Hello. And it's finally here. So this is opening night in Atlanta. So of course we are, and I'm losing my partner. So we're here to check it out. The synopsis is as follows. Basically, South London Project, a bunch of hoodlum kids running around doing hoodlumming type things, mugging people, you know, the whole 9 yards. When all of a sudden, out of the sky, drops an alien.
Please insert ticket with the mag strip up.
I shall. Thank you, Skynet.
Thank you for visiting Atlanta.
Alright, so, basically, alien falls out of the sky, scares the crap out of them, and they basically kick it to death. As a result, they think they've done well and doing great and whatever else, and they, turns out, well, no, there's more of them. Apparently, the alien that they killed brought friends, and they're dropping out of the sky all around this particular project, and, well, hijinks ensue. So yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis. The entire time I'm watching the film, I had a part of my brain reserved for trying to figure out what in the hell I was going to try to do to explain this film to you. Because it's kind of like, if you can imagine a slightly armed version of the Goonies, slightly armed, slightly militant kind of version of the Goonies, and E.T. shows up and he wants to eat your face. Right? It's kind of like a dark Spielberg parody that isn't. You see what I mean? I'm having trouble because I literally, for the most part, walk out of the theater, go tinkle, and get in the car to do these things. I don't have a lot of time to process, so I'm processing on this one as I go. But no, it is basically on one level, it's just an alien romp with a bunch of kids who have, you know, stuff. Baseball bats and fireworks and swords and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's got that aliens in a confined space thing, because even when they're out on the streets, you feel the fact that they're in, you know, urban London with the buildings surrounding them. It still feels confined even when they're not inside the building. But you get inside the building and it's your classic, you know, I go back to the line from the movie Hardware. There's a droid running crazy in my lounge, right? The ultimate of the, how do I, with no budget, put something crazy into a confined space where I don't need a huge set. So you have that with aliens and a bunch of kids who have huge attitudes and want to just stomp its face in. And really, if that's not a recipe for joy, I don't know what is, frankly. Because the film is a little bit slow to get started, but once aliens start showing up in earnest, the thing kicks off and basically doesn't stop. Now, it has humor, it has horror, it has jump out at you type of stuff, right? But none of that to excess. It's not, Edgar Wright's producer on it, Neil Park's producer on it, so it shifts genres around a lot. It doesn't do so with the finesse of, say, Shaun of the Dead, where with Shaun of the Dead, you would have this really touching, tender, familial moment going on, and then a second later, there's a standoff with, like, corkscrews and broken bottles and people, like, talking trash and stuff. So, which was just so deftly handled, it still blows my mind to think about, and that's why I like to watch that film every single year for Halloween. But, so it's not, imagine that sort of twisting, but instead of the finesse of, like, a highly sharpened knife, it's more done with, like, a blunt instrument, like a cudgel. But it sort of works because it fits the personality of the main characters that you're dealing with, who are these hoodlums. And as you get to know them, endearing hoodlums, as you might imagine. So yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of things to offer, along with being just aliens attacking, because if it was just aliens attacking, we've had aliens attacking 6 ways from Sunday, and that can, I know it's hard to believe, but that can get boring. We've also had, kids in jeopardy, but yet dealing with a situation in which kids should not, in theory, be dealing. But you put those together, you know what this is? This is like, over here, we had Super 8 was our answer to Spielberg. This is it. I've got it. Finally at last. Over here we had Super 8, where you did have monsters, aliens, and you had, like, kids having to deal with a crazy situation, and it was very Spielbergian in that sense. This is the dark side of Spielberg, where you've got, kids in jeopardy dealing with it. I referenced the Goonies, right? But yet you've also got baseball bats and bludgeoning and death and craziness going on. So there you go. This is the UK version of Super 8, right? And you know what? Good on them. Because it would make a great double feature with that movie, I must say. The bottom line is, if you can't tell, I rather enjoyed myself with the film. Okay, there's some great lines in it, and there's some great situations in it. The aliens themselves are great. They managed to, for such a simple. Well, okay, you can tell this was done on a budget because they managed to, because they had a budget, get creative about the creature design that they did, and yet, because it's so simple, it's so effective. And even though you've seen bits of them in the trailer, it still doesn't give anything away as far as to what exactly these kids are contending with, which is very refreshing, I must say. So I found the whole thing to be rather delightful in a kind of gory, well, not really gory. When there was gore, there was gore. But they did not play the gore card to excess. They did it well, and they did it effectively. I think it's the best way to put it. So, a couple things. Apart from it being fun, there is one really big standout thing about it, and that is the kid who played Moses. I mean, hell if I know, as a kid, he looks like he's 22 or something playing a kid. It's like, he's got that, part of it is the fact that he carries himself as being, just like his character, someone who everyone thinks is much older than he is. So, he could be 16 for all I know, it could be 25, I have no idea. But his name is John Boyega, and if he, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but if he does not get some great offers for film roles out of this, then there is no justice in the world whatsoever. Because he was fantastic. All the kids were great. The kid who played Pest, and I'm sorry I cannot remember your name, dude. I take no notes, and I just managed to get one name in there, and the only other name I know is Nick Frost, and because he's Nick Frost, so I know him already. No offense, because you were awesome. All the kids were great. But Moses, John Boyega, is a force to be reckoned with, and I want to see him in lots of things, okay? Make that known. And I know Many film producers watch these things, so I'm telling you, watch out for this kid because he's going to be great. So, I mean, here's the deal. Should you go and see this? Yes, because it's effective, low-budget sci-fi, okay, which should be supported. And I think the bigger audience you can see this with, most times I don't want to see things with an audience because, like I was talking about earlier with Conan, people answer the phone, or they bring their babies, or they're just stupid and they're assholes, right? But this, you actually want to be in as big a house as you can, with as many people as you can, all of whom are whooping and hollering because they're having a good time. So that's what I recommend. Now, sadly, this is playing in like one house, one theater here in Atlanta, so you may not get this. Now, if that is the case, I urge you as soon as possible, when it becomes available for digital rental or DVD or Blu-ray, please grab it. I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray because I just want bonus features as to creature stuff and all that stuff, and I want to know more about these kids because they were damn good. So I say see it however you can, whenever you can, and support low-budget sci-fi that's actually good. So, yeah, there you go. Attack the Block. Very glad to have seen it. Cup-wise, I will give it a very, very strong 3.5. Very, very strong. That and an extremely enjoyable film. Now, so that's it for Attack the Block. It just falls to me, as I'm making my way home, to say thank you to everybody who watches these things. If you do enjoy them, you can help us out a couple of different ways. If you share them on Facebook or Twitter or Google Plus or whatever it is that you do, social network-wise, when you spread the word about Need Coffee, you help us out more than you know. We don't advertise, so the fact that we've got the audience that we do is because the audience that we have spreads the wealth, so to speak, if you consider us wealth. I don't know. But in a recession, in a world of recession, the comedy of Need Coffee stands strong. And the exchange rates are still good with the UK. So, there's that. And also, if you want to do more, you can support us financially in a couple of different ways, real quickly. If you think about it, an iTunes song runs you about 99 cents. And if all the people who watch these things just gave us the equivalent of 99 cents a week, which you can do through needcoffee.com/support, it would more than pay for the tickets, which I pay for myself. Well, my company pays for, Need Coffee pays for, it is a company. And the gas and everything else that goes into these things. It's much appreciated. And if you become a sponsor, you can help us out more that way by needcoffee.com/sponsorship, where you actually get some goodies for doing so, as our way of saying thank you. We're kind of like NPR, but with more profanity. So, thank you all for watching again, and I've got one more I'm going to try to get in this weekend, and then I sleep for at least a good 2 or 3 hours and get back on my horse. So, we'll talk to you soon. Bye!